Hi guys, I'm Henry Hart. With me always is the punk rock brother man, Mr. Johnny Noise.
Thanks, Henry. We would like to welcome you all to the Inertia Entertainment Channel. We have a really good show lined up for you tonight, so buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Joining us tonight from the Necrotones, Wolfsbane. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are y'all doing?
Very good. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being on. Been wanting to have you on for a while now. Um,
Absolutely. Thank you.
you're welcome. I'll just get to the first question. It's pretty much the same for everybody. Who are some of your influences, your personal influences?
So, okay, so like for the band wise for Necrotones, um, it'd be really easy to just say like, we're horror punk, so it's Misfits, but that's kind of the OG stuff. So we're more like the as it's gone on, like more Blitzkid and Calabrese, Nimvind, kind of those some of those. But each one of us has our own different influences. So I'd say I'm more of the punk rock guy. I'm, you know, everything from street to skate to oi and ska and um, even pop punk and of course horror punk. But also musical theater and just anywhere else I can get influenced from musically. Um, and then I mean, of course, like just old scary movies. Those are my favorite. Um, you know, we'll pull from that and images we see in comic books. Um, Kind of just anything that will inspire or influence kind of what we're doing. Um, and even the other bands, like in our own local scene and other bands we played with or other shows we've gone to and see, I'll see things they're doing. I'm like, oh man, that's a huge influence. They'll influence just like seeing how other people work. Whether it's like how professional they are or just the different entertainment levels they bring to the stage. And it's like, oh man, we gotta step it up. Like we got to do what they're doing, not what they're doing, but we got to be as good as they are, and bring as much energy and entertainment to the stage as they do. So even bands like the Immortals out of Austin or Zombilly out here in Houston, they're like I'd say those are two of my biggest influences right now. Just seeing how much they do, it makes me want to bring it up to that level. But
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, I think like you said, you want to bring a lot of energy, and you get to see different bands perform, and you can pick, because these guys might have fallen a little flat or whatever. These guys really brought it. I think my biggest thing in that is when you go see a live performance is the energy, is how they look on stage. Uh, it's just some kind of not theme per se, but if somebody's in a t-shirt, some guy's got like some kind of jacket thing, something that makes everybody look
oh
similar.
yeah, yeah,
Not
definitely.
exactly
Like,
not exactly the same, but yeah.
uh, well, and definitely with the horror punk stuff, it's really easy to bring that theatrical element to it. It's like you're allowed to do that. Where maybe in different genres of music, it would it would be strange to see somebody in makeup or in a costume or doing whatever kind of theatrics, but um, it's like you get an opportunity to really play into that with horror punk, I think, and so that's great. And
Mhm.
then you get to, like I said, you see some of these other bands, and I remember playing in bands a long time ago, and you know, it's like you maybe if you went to a large theater, large venue for like a national touring band, they'd have a really big production, and but when you'd go to a local show, it was just dudes playing songs, t-shirt jeans, things like that. There wasn't a lot of
Right.
production value put into it. But then, like I said, we saw Zombilly, we saw the Immortals, and saw some of these other bands that we played with, and just seeing how much production as they're putting into the music, um, and not necessarily even just horror punk. Like there's just other punk bands that will go see local shows and metal bands and things, how much thought that they put into the whole product. And it's like, okay, let's like not, I mean, product, but like the show, like looking at it from like, hey, this is from the time we take the stage to the time we leave, like we're going to give you something for your, like something to enjoy, to entertain you. And I think that's what we're trying to do a lot. It's at least it's a lot of thought process goes into that, not just to the songs we're playing, but also like, hey, what's something really cool we can do that people will enjoy, that'll
Mhm.
be fun. It's like something different we can bring.
Right, right, and that's the thing. Um, it, we would we would treat even a club gig, or we would treat that not just as a we would treat it as a show.
Yeah.
So no matter where you play, it's a show. I'd have spot backlighting under the drums, reflecting off the cymbals, and mainly red or whatever. Then I have, like, my lighting
Hmm.
in my studio now is my octagons, and I have those
Yeah.
kind of going, you know. And then other people like, man, can we borrow your stuff, bro? Whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'd be cool about it, but I wouldn't give them all my best shit. It's like, no, we're gonna have, I bought my stuff. I'll give you some backlighting on your drums. How's that? And whatever. But it looks
Yeah.
so good. A simple $10, $15 light with a plastic gel, two of those under the drum somewhere in a in
Oh
a in
yeah.
a club, in a little club. For us, it's like, holy crap, look at this. Then we had
Oh yeah.
probably a 15-foot banner, and I made sure I had a light on the banner, not just sitting there
Hmm.
in the dark in the back of the band per se. So any
Yeah.
little thing like that sets you apart
Oh
from
yeah, absolutely.
everybody else. It really does.
Yeah. And however we can dress the stage and kind of make it seem like, hey, this is actually something pretty
Hmm.
cool. Like, hey, we should watch these guys and not just go, take it to the patio or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever we can do to
Yep.
draw people in. And because like the way I always look at, even if you're, you know, wherever you're playing, people are paying to get in to see it. And it's like I want to
Correct.
at least do my part to give them a little bit of their money's worth, as much as I can, like make it, you know, and even if, even, I mean, time is money. They're spending their time there with you that night. So, they could be doing
Hmm.
anything. They could be staying home watching TV or whatever. So I want to at least be as, make it worth your trouble of coming out and going to a show. And then maybe even if you don't go see one of our shows again, you go and see other people's shows, and it becomes like a thing you do.
Right.
Because,
Right.
I think that's really important, just the community aspect of getting people together at these venues, clubs, whatever, bars, just bringing people together.
Hmm.
That's a huge part of what we do, I think. I mean, not just necrotones, but uh, anybody trying to entertain people, the music or however you do it.
Right. Right. Well, I would always tell my singer. We had a female singer, and she was like, "Well, how do I know?" Well, I'm like, "Look, especially at some of these bars, even though there was a stage and it was a good setup, in the back was a bar and they served food, whatever the case is. I said, if you can get that guy sitting at the bar and towards the back eating his burger to stop for a second with the burger grease on his face and look up and see what you're doing,
Oh yeah,
you've got you've already got something going on." And sure enough, she had a voice. Well, Henry knows, she had a voice
yeah,
from, oh my god. And
Oh
she hit
yeah.
a couple of notes during rehearsal, and sure enough, the guy's down in his burger. Look up and what? Like, says,
yeah,
you got him hooked.
yeah,
You got him on the line. Now we got him going. So,
yeah,
but yeah, you're right. It is a lot. A lot of it's the music is a huge part of it. Presentation. It's probably almost a 60-40
yeah.
or a 50-50 split on
Oh yeah,
presentation and your sound.
yeah.
So, you bring it every time, and people will respond, and they'll come back and see you again. So
Yeah.
that's the cool part.
Well,
That's the cool part.
and ideally, if it just, I'm really big on the local scene and local community stuff, as well as, but for anybody's local community, wherever you're at,
Hmm.
to bring, more people together, um, and going to shows and supporting the local bands, but also just being part of the local audience, as well. So if you're in a
Hmm.
band and stuff, going to shows and meeting other people and just having that shared experience of a show, that it's like, once that show's, like, it's just that one night. and then especially like
Hmm.
live performances, whatever they are, all live performances, it's like it happens in the moment, and it's a shared experience with you and them
Yeah.
and everyone
Yeah.
in the audience together. So I'm really big on that personally.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's, I mean, I just think that kind of stuff. I think that probably comes from like that punk rock, ethos of
Hmm.
community and unity and stuff like that. So it it's a really cool thing. I'd like more people to get involved in that. Um, and I think just people just it enriches your life when you do. So I'd like to see
Hmm.
more people out at shows too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, definitely. Because
So
when I walked in the Nosferatu Fest, I didn't know what to expect. And let me tell you, because we went out there because we had Scary Only from Plan 9 as a guest on our show,
They
like
were
maybe
great.
about three weeks before. And he said, "Yeah, we're going to
Yeah,
be playing Nosferatu Fest out in Austin." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So we went, and when I walked in, I think you guys were already set up and fixing to go on,
hmm
and I wasn't sure if that was set up just for y'all or if it was just something that they had done for the Nosferatu Fest. And it turns out, yeah, y'all stage setup was that was part of y'all's gear. And
Oh yeah,
I told my fiance, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get a show with these guys. I said, because look at the big skull and
yeah,
the TV with the horror movie loops on it and
yeah.
everything, and then those flash pots went off at certain points,
Oh, those were
and
cool.
then
Now that was,
yeah,
yeah,
those.
that was Kick Butt Coffee stuff or Nosferatu stuff. I don't know whose stuff that was, but that was really cool. We might have to look and see if we can get some of those for our other shows, because that was awesome. But that place is cool. Kick Butt Coffee, that's such a cool venue, and
Oh yeah,
everyone there is super neat. Everybody's real friendly. The local crowd that just visits that place, that they're all everyone's just really great there, and we'll take any opportunity to go back and play at Kick Butt Coffee or Nosferatu Fest. Everybody involved with Nosferatu Fest was just the salt of the earth. Everybody was great. We had so much fun that night. Plan 9 was awesome. Um, they were super cool. Everybody was great, and I
yeah.
got to meet you, Henry. We got to meet a whole bunch of people, and we just had a really good time.
Oh yeah. There's one point, and you can see it on the Kick Butt Coffee video. They actually taped the whole show, and there's
Hmm
one point where it's Plan 9 is on. Jim Rowley's working us all up, and it's me, you, Deadman, and I think maybe Mortis.
Yeah,
And we're all around Jim Rowdy's, and we're just singing our lungs out,
yeah,
and just having a just having a dandy of a time. I mean, I
yeah,
was I was so amped up, and then we had we had to drive back to San Antonio, which isn't that far, but I had to be at work at I had to be up for work at 6 o'clock, and we didn't walk out of there until almost 2. So actually, no, we
yeah,
walked out of there about 1 and got home at 2. But I was so amped up from being at that show, I slept those 2 or 3 hours when I got home, got up,
yeah,
and I was telling everybody at work about, hey, this is where I was last night, and showing them what footage I
yeah.
had captured and everything. I That's definitely one of the highlights for this year, and I really look forward
Oh,
to
it.
uh, definitely going back again, and I sure as hell want to see you guys again live too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
We
man,
definitely.
y'all's performance was good.
It's been a while since we've been out to San Antonio. It's been just about a year since we've been out to San Antonio, and we definitely want to come back out that way sometime soon. Hopefully in October or something like that. I just gotta book the dates. That's all. We've tried to set up other times in San Antonio in the past, and we just kind of struggle to get a date locked in. But the no, that's again, that's the thing about like punk rock shows and things like that. Like I can't think of a lot of other, maybe sporting events does this. I don't really go to sporting events as much, but where you can like just like you know swing your arm around another like a complete stranger's shoulder and you know have that like it sing along to a awesome song and
Yeah, yeah.
or go around in a pit or whatever and even if you never talk to that guy again or if you talk to him again y'all become friends or whatever it's just like it's this
Oh
cool
yeah.
thing that you get to for everybody involved so yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think, I think for that there's more a sense, like I said, there's more a sense of community in that,
Yeah.
in the horror punk or punk, when you go somewhere, and I'm I'm still kind of taken aback, when I go out to shows here, like I'm going to go Saturday to go see a band, and and I haven't been out in a while, so I'm putting together
Hmm.
something else, and so but they still haven't seen these guys in a while, and the people that are there, and they just come, hey, where you been, about whatever, and so I don't think other um, like genres of music per se have that kind of thing, you know what I mean, that the horror punk or the punk rock scene does, and
Yeah.
as that sense, and it's been, and that's been, I think, that way for a long time. So I've been in this since the 70s, and it
Yeah.
was the same way. When you played CBs or Maxis, or we were at the Dirt Club a lot in Jersey, and so it was a sense of, you knew everybody there. It's a different feel than going to a cover rock band show or whatever the case is. You
Oh
know,
yeah. And I mean I suffer from it probably as much as anybody else does, like that like shyness or social anxiety or whatever you want to call it. But honestly, it's like if you just start showing up at some of these shows, I find like I mean I'd been out of music stuff, out of the scene kind of stuff for a while, and then when I got with the band, uh, I started going to more local shows, and then it became just a thing that it's like, okay, I'm doing this like 2 or 3 times a month. I'm not like I've got to go see all these bands, and I want to be a part of this community, and everybody's super inviting, and if you can just get past that initial shyness to go say hi to somebody or tell them like, oh, cool shirt, or that's a cool whatever, um, or even like, hey,
right,
just get
right,
in the pit and you know have that moment. But then after that's over, it's like, well, now I have an excuse to go like high five that dude and be like, hey, that was awesome, that was fun, and then you can talk to
yeah,
him, make a friend or whatever, and then it's like and then you become just part of the crowd. You become part of it, and you have all these new people to talk to and share your interest with because it's all shared interest. You're all there for the same thing. You like that type of music, and you're into that. You know,
right, right.
that's what you want to do for fun. You want to go to shows um, and that's also definitely if you're in a band or want to play music, I mean that's the place to do it. I mean, or place to at least jump off. That's where you're going to meet your bandmates or the people that are going to play on shows with you is by going to these things and meeting because a lot of the people in the crowds are also in bands too. So
Yeah, yeah, right, right, exactly, exactly. So that's, but like I say, it's cool, and I say I've been around this for a very long time, and I'll probably do this until I can't do it anymore, and but it's just something that other people will never have that feeling or never get that opportunity to have that, and and it's like, kind of in a way, you're like, you don't know what you're missing, it's a
no, they
different
don't.
different way to view things, and they're like, well, this and this, and no, 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 it's just, this is something totally, um uh sometimes you can't even explain it, I mean, that's how Henry and I met. It was all through this
Yeah.
whole music thing,
Oh
and
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
and it's like,
Well,
who,
you can
you
convert people too. There's a couple people I've certainly converted where
know.
they'd never been to a punk rock show. They had never been to a small venue with like local bands. Like they didn't even. I don't even think they had a concept that people do this. It's like no, there's bands on the radio. Like there's not. I don't. You know. And you bring them to one, and then it's all of a sudden they're hitting you up to go to every single show. Send you a message like,
Yeah.
sending you a DMing you a flyer for sure. Like, hey, you going to this one? And it's like, dude, I gotta. We went out like 3 times last week. Come on,
Yeah.
like it's like I gotta stay home sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So,
Well, once you get him to drink the purple grape juice out of the skull, you got him hooked. That's it.
oh, absolutely, absolutely,
So here you go. Take a sip. Enjoy
yeah,
enjoy the ride.
yeah,
It's
Take a
crazy.
sip from the elixir of life.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Here you go. Here's the grape juice, buddy. Good luck. Oh man. But I know Henry has some other questions.
Oh
We've
yeah.
been rambling off on stuff and
Oh,
So, uh, so this is y'all's release, Graveyard Tales. Tell us a little bit about the recording and how you guys put that out.
so we recorded it in Houston, at this place, Magic Studios. We did that. We recorded it last. Well, it's actually, I think it was this week last year. Um, just we had a bunch of songs. We had those 6 songs, and we wanted to record them, and so we went in there, knocked it out, and as quickly as we could, and and then we just started. We wanted to get something out there because we'd been playing for about 6 months at that time. Like seriously playing, like putting a lot of effort into our live show, and we had our drummer. We had, when we started, we had a different drummer, but now we had Igor, and uh, and the songs had really kind of started to come together, and uh, and so we knew we had to get something that people could listen to, besides like some YouTube videos with kind of poor quality recordings. We were like, so let's get something to show what we can do, and so we went and we that was all just us, and and then afterwards, well, that CD you have, we were kind of like, well, we want to have something to actually give people, like you know, and so we just decided, well, we weren't ready to um, spend the money on an actual release or anything like that, like a press discs, like something fancy. So it was like, well, hey, let's just put them on CDRs, and I took the the blank CDs, and I put them on a record player, and just let spin, and just put a marker on there to give it a little spiral thing. So it's like, okay, that's good for art. And then I was saying something about the CD, but then it came up and said
yeah.
reconnecting. So, uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we
Yeah.
just I would say that Igor, he's an artist. It is 9 to 5 and everything, and so he does all of our artwork for us, all our flyers, any artwork we post, and so he did the album cover for that, and all the artwork for the singles, and that we posted online, and so we just kind of tried to DIY it ourselves,
Oh yeah.
and so maybe eventually we'll put something out, like we'll actually get it like maybe a little bit more legit looking, but
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
that's what we've got. Oh, actually, we don't have any more of those now. I think we'd have to make some more if we sold all those. So um, something to come
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad I
soon.
got my hands on one because
Yeah, well,
I
that's
mean
gonna be yeah. Well,
we'll
yeah,
show a better
that
copy.
it's gone now. Yeah, the videos, I did those myself. Just kind of pulling, some. I have a ton of horror movies that I digitized. I have all the old DVDs. I digitized them years ago, and so it's kind of like, oh well, let's just clip them in there and try to make, and again, just something that people could enjoy, and be entertained with, and kind of show the music.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But that's
So
not to say we don't have some help. Yeah, we get a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
help from a buddy of ours. Meta is a photographer here in Houston, and he helps us a ton with content. stuff with even with Instagram Reels and with all our photography. He's the kind of like our go-to person for band photographs and things like that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. You need that. Keep everybody
Yeah.
keep your stuff out there, so uh like equipment wise,
Hmm.
not to sway from where we were.
Oh
What is
yeah.
your weapon? What is your weapon of choice?
Uh, well, right now I've been playing with Epiphone Les Paul. Um, oh my God, it says reconnecting again. What is going on? So yeah, right now I'm playing with Epiphone Les Paul. Uh, and
Okay.
but I'm not married to it or anything. I'm sure something else will I'll see something else. Like since we've started this thing, I've gone through a couple different guitars. I had a Reverend Sensei for a while that now that's my backup, and I do love that guitar. It plays great, sounds good, but the Les Paul just looked a little cooler. It matched Mortis's bass. I don't know if it was the bass he had
Mm.
at Nosferatu Fest, but he had a purple quilted top, and that Les Paul had a purple quilted top, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool if we matched. And then he got a new bass, so um, I might, but whatever I have, it has to have a Bigsby on it. That's the one must. I've got to have a Bigsby, and outside of
Right,
that,
right. I
as
got
long
you.
as it's got Bigsby and humbuckers, we're good to go. I'll play on anything as long as it looks cool. That's a big part of it, honestly, is like, does this look cool on stage? Like, all right, it does. All right, then I'll play. Let's go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm kind of the hang on. Yeah, kind of same way. I got stuff that's just for stage, and then my studio stuff behind me is for studio stuff only. You
Yeah,
know, and but yeah, yeah. It's uh Les Paul, Gretsch. I got some Ibanez stuff.
it's yeah.
Jackson's. So it's a whole array of stuff, and
Yeah, when we
sometimes it gets out of
started this
control.
thing,
You know.
yeah. When we started this thing, I started with the Gretsch. I had a duo jet, and I was like, that's going to be my thing. I'm going to be a Gretsch guy. I'm going to be a duo jet guy. This is the guitar. And then I saw that Reverend Sensei, and I was like, oh, that looks sick. It would be really cool with the Bigsby on it. And
Hmm.
and and you don't really see anyone else playing it, so I was like, oh, that's cool. Like at least in our local scene, it's like, oh, this will be kind of like my thing. This will set me apart a little bit. And then
Yeah.
the Les Paul, it had bat inlays, and it was like, okay, well, that has bat inlays. I've got to get that. So, and that's really that was the deciding factor on that one. Um,
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
sure I might switch back to Gretsch eventually, or something else. I love tellies. I love single cut. Anything single cut, that's my jam. But SGs are cool too. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I had a nice SG I got out in Nashville, and actually I sold it. I had to scale down because I had like a dozen guitars, and I was like, well, I'm running out of space, and you can't play all this stuff. So I was like, what do I really,
Yeah.
really enjoy playing, and what do I need that, like I said, that looks cool on stage, and then you got
Mhm.
that, whatever it is. I probably got rid of half of my stuff because there was no room. I was
Oh yeah.
tripping over stuff just getting into my studio you know.
Oh yeah.
So it just got to the point where I was like, who am I showing off for? What I don't need 12 guitars and three basses and a keyboard and so I just trimmed it all down to the essentials what I need and because
Oh
it's like
yeah.
any other addiction, it can get way out of hand real quick,
Oh
real
yeah.
fast.
Absolutely.
So
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
I'll get on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll just like kind of scroll through, and I'll see something. I see a really
Bad,
good deal
bad.
on something, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me get it. That might look good on stage or whatever. And I get in. I was like, nah, that doesn't really
Hmm.
fit. I had a really cool. It had everything I wanted. One of those Schecter tellies. It had the humbucker in the bridge. It had Bigsby already on it. The neck played great, but the color just didn't fit with our style. And I thought, well, I'm not gonna ever play
Hmm.
this. And So I would take what ends up happening is I end up collecting a couple of those, and then I go trade them in for. I'll take
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I get too much stuff, I end up taking it and trading in the ones that I'm not using and or not gonna. I don't foresee myself playing, especially on stage, and I go ahead and just trade them in and
Yeah.
get something I think I will play on stage and get more use out of. But of course, you always have
Yeah.
those guitars that there's some sentimental factor to it, and you're like, I can't. Like my parents got this one for
Can't
me,
get
or
rid
this
of
was
it.
my first guitar, or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just hold on to that forever.
Yeah. 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 It's like I said. It's you always see whatever, and I had this warlock, this huge black warlock, and I put a
Hmm.
gigantic chrome Grim Reaper on the sucker,
Hmm.
and I used that, and I played it out once. I did down in Birmingham that they do had a Misfit Masquerade thing that they did for like a Halloween show. So I went down there, sat in with some guys, and it looked cool as hell. But man, it was the most uncomfortable freaking thing. It's so top heavy. I had to get a
Oh yeah,
wider strap to hold it in place. So, and I sold it to some kid. His grandmother bought it for him. So I met them at this little gas station thing. The guitar was bigger than him, and his eyes got this big when I pulled it out. I gave him the
yeah,
guitar, the little soft case. And I just here, give me a couple, whatever, X number of dollars, and it was a little dude's birthday. I said, I'm not gonna juice this kid's grandmother for like $600 for a $400 guitar. Come on. So I
yeah,
just gave it to him, and for that, a lot cheaper. But it looked good, and it was just a beast. It was a beast. I
yeah,
hated that thing with a passion to play it. It was horrible.
yeah,
So I got a couple good videos out of it. I looked cool on stage. I was all in green. And
yeah,
then I said, get rid of it. That's it. Not done. Make it go away. So
yeah,
yeah, it's like I said, it's all good. But yeah, sometimes I think I'm going to start a support group of musicians. We can all sit around a circle. I bought another instrument today.
yeah.
I need help.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it can get crazy. It definitely can get out of hand. But yeah, that's and everybody I talk to, dude, everybody, it's got the same stories. Well, I bought this and I got that and I did this and whatever. And it's like, it never stops. It's just one
Oh
of those
no,
things.
it
It's
doesn't.
keeps on
That's
going.
that.
So
Yeah, that's why I say
Never.
6 months from now I might be playing something else because I can't stop myself from seeing the next thing and think, oh, that's really cool. That would be cool. And then you just have to figure out, okay, well, how do I justify it? And it's like, well, I could trade. That's why I'm always like, well, I can trade in these guitars, and that'll bring the price down to almost like it's just a swap. And and
yeah,
then and that's
yeah,
even
yeah,
better
yeah.
because now I have less stuff. It's just like, how can I not do this? But I'm just really just it's all cope. It's all just justifying something you didn't need, but it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
definitely.
like yeah, it's just a guitar drug addict looking for the next hit. How do I get my next hit?
Oh yeah.
What do I
Oh
pick
yeah.
up? So it's it's wild. But Henry, we'll go back to you for some other questions.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I my thing for a while was I've slowed it down, but my thing was I would get like a Squire bass, bring it home, take the pickups out of it, and put Seymour Duncans in it or something. The last bass I
Hmm.
bought was a Squire Precision, and I got some Geezer Butler EMGs and slapped those in there and bought some chrome skull knobs and just and that was my hobby for a while, but
Oh yeah.
they got a bit expensive, so I had to slow down a bit, and the same thing with buying Ampeg bass amps. I have almost the whole V2 series except for this. They came out with five of them. I have all of them except for the 75-watt version, and the only reason that I opted out of the 75-watt version was to buy the well, is to buy that Ampeg mini stack right there, which
Oh
I
yeah.
use more than anything else. And
Yeah.
yeah, so my jazz bass behind me and my Squire Precision with the Geezer Butlers, and those are like my two main workhorses. And other than that, I'm sitting on about 3 other electrics, and about 4 other Squire basses and 1 Jackson. So, yeah, I had to kind of slow it down a little bit, but once it starts, it never
Yeah.
stops.
Oh,
No.
Um, but
No.
yeah, the other question that I do have is when it comes to songwriting, do y'all guys get together and, hey, I've got a structure of a song here and I've got some lyrics here, or how does
It's
that dynamic of songwriting work for the band?
it, it's been different for different songs. Probably mostly what happens, at least the most of the songs, I think it's either like Dead Man will write a song like kind of start to finish, or I'll write a song kind of start to finish, and then we'll take it in, and Igor will put his drums on top of it, and Mortis will come in with that rhythm section and fill out the bottom end. Or but some of our we've got a couple songs where Mortis will write a guitar riff, or he'll write a couple different riffs, and he doesn't have really a song structure for it maybe necessarily, but he's like, hey, this is kind of what I was thinking. And then Dead Man will have some lyrics already, kind of like, well, hey, I have these lyrics, but I didn't really know what to do with, and we'll just kind of fit them in there. But then we'll realize like, okay, well, we need to actually take the part that we thought was the core was musically sounded kind of like the chorus. Well, that's going to be the verse, and we just kind of move things around to make it fit the words, or we move the words around to fit the song. Um, so sometimes it's a collaborative effort like that, and for a couple songs it's been like that, and then other songs it's been where either Dead Man or myself had just we had already wrote, or and I think even in one instance uh, there was a song that Mortis had wrote, and I took and I kind of changed it around to fit an idea that I was already kind of playing with, and it was like, okay, actually that's some cool riffs there. Let me move it around just and fit it into a different key or a different whatever, and just kind of play with it, and that's what we got through there. So it's lots of times what we'll do though is we'll record something just at home, like on our phones or whatever, and send it to the group. And I might write something, and I it's just an idea. It's just the start of an idea maybe, and I'll record it real quick, either just on my phone or however, and send it over to the guys and be like, hey, here's 30 seconds of something. Uh, is it something I should continue to work on, or is this just like go ahead and scrap it? Like this doesn't work for us. Uh, and sometimes it's like, yeah, keep on working on that. And sometimes it's like, nah, dude, that's not a Necrotone song. Like that doesn't fit. It's that sounds corny or whatever. And or it's like, oh yeah, I don't like those words. I don't want to sing that. That's weird. And I'm like, okay, cool, good. I don't want to waste my time. It was just an idea I had, and the same thing goes with Dead Man. We've definitely worked on songs before, and as we're kind of trying to flesh them out, and we've even had songs that we had, completed, we played on stage. And then like the next time when we were writing a set list, we were like, let's go ahead and scrap that one. It's just not working. It doesn't fit the rest. It doesn't fit that we tried it out. It's, it's too slow or it's too whatever. It's not fun to play on stage. So scrap it and move on to the next thing.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of times it's a collective effort.
Oh yeah.
We've come up with stuff. We were just jamming in the studio that we were rehearsing at. He would do room captures, and then we go back to the room capture and like, oh, let's keep that, whatever it was.